Something changed inside ChatGPT last week, and OpenAI didn't announce it. Starting around June 17, 2026, ChatGPT Pro subscribers began noticing measurably faster responses, sharper reasoning, and dramatically improved coding output. No changelog, no press release. Just a quiet model swap on the back end that developers picked up almost immediately through behavioral differences they couldn't ignore. The model identifier confirmed it. GPT-5.6, a version OpenAI hadn't officially launched yet, was already serving responses to paying users. The official release isn't expected until late June 2026, but for those willing to look closely, the future was already running. The reports started surfacing on X and developer forums within hours. Coding tasks that previously required multiple rounds of correction were completing cleanly on first pass. Agentic behavior, the model's ability to plan multi-step tasks, use tools, and self-correct, showed marked improvement over GPT 5.5 Pro, which itself had only launched weeks earlier. One developer, posting on X, claimed to have built a fully functional browser-based game in approximately 60 minutes using GPT 5.6, a task they estimated would have taken several hours with the previous model. Others reported tighter instruction following, reduced hallucination on technical queries, and what multiple users described as a noticeably more decisive reasoning style. These are anecdotal reports, and they should be treated as such. But the volume and consistency of observations suggest something substantive, not placebo. To understand what GPT 5.6 represents, you need to see the cadence. OpenAI released GPT-5 in early 2025. GPT 5.5 followed in May 2026, with a Pro variant arriving shortly after for the $200 per month tier. Now, barely weeks later, 5.6 is already in the wild. This isn't the old pattern of annual flagship releases. This is continuous deployment, incremental but meaningful model improvements pushed to production on a near-monthly basis. Sam Altman has spoken publicly about this shift, describing a future where model versions blur together into a continuous improvement curve rather than discrete launches. For OpenAI, the strategy is clear. Make the gap between them and competitors not a single leap, but a relentless series of steps. For enterprise customers and independent developers, the critical question isn't what GPT 5.6 can do in a chat window. It's when it hits the API, and at what price. OpenAI has not yet confirmed API pricing for GPT 5.6, but the trajectory is instructive. Each recent model generation has delivered substantially better performance while gradually reducing cost per token at the API level. GPT 5.5 already offered what OpenAI described as improved efficiency relative to GPT-5, and early indicators suggest 5.6 continues that trend. If OpenAI follows its established pattern, expect API access within days of the official launch, likely at price parity or slight premium to GPT 5.5, with costs declining as usage scales. The real competitive advantage won't be raw pricing. It'll be the agentic capabilities that let developers build autonomous workflows fewer humans need to supervise. Now, the geopolitical dimension, because this story isn't just about benchmarks. Anthropic, OpenAI's most formidable domestic competitor, is currently unable to deploy its latest models. Fable 5 and Mythos 5, Anthropic's answer to the GPT-5 generation, remain suspended under US Bureau of Industry and Security Export Control review. The BIS, operating under expanded AI diffusion rules that took effect in May 2025, has authority to restrict deployment of frontier AI models that exceed certain capability thresholds. The exact compliance issues have not been made public, but the effect is concrete. Anthropic's most advanced models are not available to users or developers while the review proceeds. The AI diffusion rules, finalized under the Biden administration and largely maintained under the current one, created a tiered system for AI chip exports and, by extension, the models trained on them. Tier 1 nations face minimal restrictions. Tier 2 nations face caps. Tier 3, including China, faces near-total embargo. But the rules also gave BIS review authority over frontier model deployments themselves, not just the hardware. This is the mechanism now affecting Anthropic. Whether this reflects a genuine national security concern about Fable 5 and Mythos 5's capabilities, or bureaucratic friction in an under-resourced review process, remains unclear. Multiple AI policy analysts have noted that the BIS review timeline was not designed for the current pace of model releases. The result is an uneven playing field, one that currently favors OpenAI. With Anthropic's top models sidelined, OpenAI's GPT-5.6 deployment, even a soft one, lands in a competitive vacuum. Google DeepMind continues iterating on Gemini. xAI pushes Grok. Chinese labs, notably DeepSeek, operate under entirely different constraints and access conditions. But for the Western enterprise market, the businesses, developers, and government contractors choosing an AI provider, OpenAI is currently the only company offering a continuously updated frontier model without regulatory interruption. That matters enormously for customer lock-in. Organizations that build workflows around GPT-5.6's agentic capabilities today are unlikely to migrate when Anthropic's models eventually clear review. Whether this advantage is the product of OpenAI's superior regulatory navigation, Anthropic's misstep, or simply timing and luck, it's real, and it's compounding. 3 things to watch. First, the official GPT-5.6 launch, expected in the final days of June, and whether OpenAI publishes capability benchmarks that validate the developer community's observations. Second, the BIS timeline on Anthropic's Fable 5 and Mythos 5. Any extended delay fundamentally alters the competitive landscape for the rest of 2026. Third, whether the pace of model iteration itself forces a rethinking of the export control review framework, which was arguably designed for a slower world. The broader pattern here is unmistakable. AI development has reached a tempo where the gap between unreleased and already deployed can be measured in days. Regulatory frameworks built for quarterly or annual review cycles are struggling to keep pace. And the companies that can navigate both the technical frontier and the bureaucratic one simultaneously hold an advantage that no benchmark can fully capture. GPT-5.6 is, by itself, an incremental improvement. But increments, delivered at this speed, in this competitive and regulatory environment, reshape markets. The model is already running. The question is, who gets to run alongside it?